Have a lovely 72 Porsche 911T, and any of you eagle-eyed viewers will notice this is a one-year production car only, and the reason being is this flap here. In 72, Porsche decided to put the oil filler point external rather than in the engine bay. However, it didn't last very long, because if you don't know, you can probably understand why. People were pulling up in petrol pumps, and this is in the early days when you still had petrol pump assistants coming out and filling your car up, and filling this up instead of the fuel flap at the front. So Porsche quite quickly realised that it was causing issues and troubles for owners, so they went back and diverted it to the oil tank back in the engine bay, which from 73 onwards you wouldn't see that flap anymore, so a one-year car only. This 72T had a body restoration a year or so ago, maybe a bit more, 18 months, at another independent. The owners decided to refresh some mechanical bits and go forward. The car came into us, and I'll just run you front to back quickly what we've done. So we actually removed the fuel tank that was fitted in the restoration because it didn't have some of the sealing on it and the understeel and the stone chips, so we've repainted that, re-stone chipped that, new seal around it. Front suspension's been replaced. This did have a front anti-roll bar on it, but it was missing, so we've replaced all the front anti-roll bar. Rear suspension's been done. Rear trailing arm bushings are very worn, so they've been replaced. New engine mounts, new gearbox mounts, HT leads, a service. The pedal box and the throttle linkage on the engine, all the bushings are worn. So when we collected it on driving, you were getting 50% throttle pedal. So we've rebushed everything. We've actually upgraded it to Frostbite bronze bushes in the pedal box and at the back. Now that's given us 100% pedal travel for the throttle. What we did notice though, this is still running its original fuel pump. The throttle linkage was quite unbalanced. So we had 50% on throttle on the left hand bank and 70% throttle on the right hand bank. So the linkage has all been off, they're all been set up, and it's now running 100%, and then we've balanced everything. We've also upgraded a few other little bits and pieces. We've tracked it. We've actually tracked this slightly a bit more aggressively, and we've actually lowered the stance at the front, so it's sitting down slightly to what it would do from factory, just to give it an appearance and give it a nicer driving style. But just a really nice driving 72 car that's actually a credit to its owner, and one that now drives and handles like the body looks. You want to have a quick look inside. When the body was done, it did have carpets and bits and pieces, but actually the seats are actually still original. But a really nice car, privileged to work on it, and it's just had a full detail and valet here, ready to hand it over to its customer. Again, privileged to work on these early cars, especially something like this. It drives really well. That's what I love about classic 911s. They're just so forgiving. You know what, 40 miles an hour in fifth gear, and it's just no real effort at all, is it? Only thing we've done to the engine is basically set it up, service it, and balance everything. The engine had timing chains on it when it was rebuilt by the other garage. And funny enough, I actually I actually went down and diagnosed the fault with this engine when they had it in. They couldn't work out what the running problem was, so I went down and diagnosed it. But all we've done is just set it up and balance everything, really, make it all work as the way as it left the factory. Did have one of the fuel cut-off control valves wasn't on the engine when it came in, so we've reinstated all of that as well. But it's just a lovely driving car.
Welcome to Pi Performance again. Today we've got this lovely 996 Carrera 4 in, and we're going to show you how to take off the hardtop. It's mostly the same for the Boxsters as well as the 911s as well, so we'll crack on and we'll show you how to take the roof off. So step one is to remove this little trim panel here. It's only pushed in with a couple of tabs onto there, and then you push the red tab in and release the first latch off of there. That's the first step to take the roof off. So step two is to go to these little covers back here. There is usually a little protective cover. Once that's removed, you can put a 6mm Allen key in it. If you pull it towards you on each side, you can see that the roof slowly lifts up. Do it till it stops on both sides, and then you'll need a glamorous assistant to help you lift the roof off. Okay, so once you've unlatched the rear sections, you've just got to drop the rear window section and then get yourself an assistant to help you lift it off. This is Connor, he's our new technician, so he's just going to help me lift it up and off. So it's easier to lift at the back to get it off the latches, and one big swoop and it will come off. Okay, so now the roof's off, it's always a good idea to put it somewhere safe. Stands are available to put them up out the way in a garage, but you can also get wall hangers as well to hang it off the wall, just to keep it out of the way and keep it safe and protect that rear glass and the paintwork as well.
Hi. Very quick tour of Pi Performance, a day in the life of what we do. I'll just run you through some of the jobs. We get quite a lot of high responses to this, so that's the reason we do it. People seem to like our content about what we're doing. So, very quickly, 964 Targa, engine rebuild. This has actually had one of our ignition upgrades. So Graham is in the middle of trying to look busy, I think, for camera. But setting up fueling, air tables and things like that, and dialing it. I think, Graham, this is almost finished now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just finished dialing in the fuel in and then road test.
Perfect. Kind of the standard things we do. We do have a 911T here that's midway through stripping, but I won't talk too much about that because there is going to be a separate, almost documentary on this, following this all the way through. Really nice car. Our 928 that you've probably seen in a few videos now, fair to say is the wiring on this is pulling our hair a little bit, but we think we are on the downward slope for this, nearly being finished now. So that should be back with a customer in the coming week or so. 996 Carrera 2, having a clutch flywheel, actually having an IMS upgrade, which 8-9 years ago or so, we were probably doing 4 or 5 a month. Obviously, as they're getting older, more and more have been done. We're probably seeing maybe 1 or 2 a month now. So an upgrade IMS bearing, clutch and flywheel at the same time, new rear main seal. I think it's had a major service as well, and core pack covers because they were splitting. And I think a few other little minor bits. Oh, 2 rear lower control arms, 1 aircon condenser because one was being done some time ago, but another one done. Just a standard run-of-the-mill car through the workshop. Those you don't know, that's my dad's 928, and that's probably been in the making for about 5 years. So we're hoping to have that done this side of Christmas. On the ramp up in the air is a 4-litre GTS Boxster. Unfortunately, 2021s are known for oil pump failures. This one, the oil pump bolt stripped its thread, the oil pump drive cog stopped spinning and it lost oil pressure. So the engine's actually out of that and bits now being inspected and parts on order for a rebuild. To get that done, little 924 turbo we've put back together after the customer done some recommission himself, but we put turbos on it, got it running, done some other fettling bits. Ben is just in the process of wiring an amp and the factory head unit back into it at the moment. 964 on the ramp is coming for 4-wheel geo. So Adam at the moment is, I think Adam, you're freeing off all the rear trailing arms at the moment, aren't you?
They're all freed up, it's just, yeah, they're all tracked in on the rear to the front of it.
Not been tracked for a while, I would imagine? Okay, so that's just having the, there's quite a lot of movement on the rear trailing arms on these, and generally, they're generally seized and take a while to get stripped down. So Adam's just geoing that at the moment. Lovely 997 that we done an engine rebuild on it. It's come back in for its first running service. So Connor just in the process of doing a running service and clean it down and we do diagnostics as well, check cam deviation, check what the engine's doing, make sure it's all running lovely. Before it's handed back to the customer. 996 turbo, that's going to have an oil change today, but this is Neil's car, who's a good friend of mine as well. He's got one of our 996 turbo exhausts on it with 200 cell cats. We are going to be doing a separate video in this, and that's going to be coming out soon with some sound bites of what the exhaust sounds like and driving, but another product that we make and sell, so in stock. And this is just a normal run-of-the-mill day at Pie Performance. So we'll keep them coming and check them out.